What's up, everyone? My name is Derek Davis, and you're watching the Young and Powerful podcast. Tonight on the podcast, I will be talking about self esteem with Vanessa Anderson. Um, she's in the district and she works throughout the district, and I'm glad of her to be joining me tonight. So, how are you doing, Miss Vanessa Anderson?
Awesome. I am well, and thank you so much, Derek, for the invite. I'm so honored to be on the podcast. So yes, I'm so excited.
Yes, yes. I'm glad to have you. I've been wanting to ask you for a minute, but I didn't get around to it because stuff kept happening, and so I decided to ask you. And I'm glad that we are here, and I'm glad that we are talking about this topic. Is simple tonight: self-esteem,
Yes.
and we're going to be talking about self-esteem tonight. Couple questions that I will ask her, and we will just break out into discussion some of the questions. So, before I go to that, can you name what do you do throughout the district?
All right. Well, starting from I guess the top, I guess in maybe I guess ranking order.
Mhm.
So I am the Connectional React Recording Secretary. So I was elected to that position in 2022, and it's a 4-year position. So it is now the year 2026. Outside of that, I've been so honored to work with the 5th District with their media team for several years, and it's definitely been a blessing. COVID, although it was just not a great time, there were still some blessings through that storm. And within the Bay Valley District of the California Conference, I am the district administrator. So with a lot of the communication and the I guess the materials that go out and the um, online graphics, that's me, as well as like their in-person booklets and all that jazz. And I am also able to dibble dabble at times working with few churches, specifically with Fame Seattle, where I've been there for a while, doing a lot of contract work. So with their graphics, working with their media as well, um, their website, and just other things. Yeah, then of course in my local church, I serve as a steward. I'm their, I guess I'm their resident tech person at my local church. So if there's a flyer that they need, pretty much majority of the time I have something to do with that. So that is pretty much what I do. I am, of course, born, raised AME. I was born on a Sunday, 9990. So just grateful for my upbringing and just all the teachings that I've had so far, because I really do believe that that has guided me to where I am today.
Amen. Amen to that. Now, the first question that I have for you is about confidence. Is what does confidence mean to you when it goes to self stuff?
Yeah, so I think the main thing with confidence, I feel it is being able to keep your head above the water.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's so much that goes on. I remember um, my first real encounter with self esteem. I was about 10 years old, and I just made up in my mind one day, um, I get to define who I am, I get to define um, how I feel about myself and what others see. And pretty much from that moment on, that just pretty much carried me and was my inspiration. So when I walk into rooms, I don't have to be the smartest person or the most knowledgeable person, but I just need to be for sure in who I am as a person. And I think that's more so important because there are people, they might look confident, but on the inside, they're trying to be like the person next to them. And I always feel that confidence is more so how you feel about yourself, how you want to carry yourself, the energy that you allow to surround you and influence you. So it's, for me, it's just always being able to keep your head above the water and uh, doing your best that you can do to just survive and find that inner peace, find that motivation to just keep on keeping on.
Amen. And that now, do you struggle? Do you have find difficulty struggling with like self esteem and confidence?
Um, I would say when it comes to, I don't know if you know this term, I'm so sorry, but I'm a millennial, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I would say when it comes to keeping up with the Joneses, I
Mm-hmm.
gave that up a long time ago. So when it comes to watching the latest shows, um, I would rather watch it after, the season is over or after it finishes. So then I can, binge watch everything. So I don't try to keep up with anyone and everyone. I try to just be a free spirit, do what I feel is best for me. And so that's pretty much where I am. Sometimes I can walk into rooms and feel that imposter syndrome. And I think that that's very normal, especially in the business setting and church setting, that imposter
Mm-hmm.
syndrome can definitely take effect. Um, but I think um, just through pep talk, it's just reminding yourself that I'm here for a reason. I have a right to be here. However long, I get to be in this space. Let me embrace it and just, move forward with it. But I think imposter syndrome comes and goes probably with all of us, with the world that we're in today. But yeah, I don't keep up with the Joneses. I know that sometimes that sounds superficial, um, but it's too expensive to try to keep up with everything else and with what everyone else is doing. Um, if I find something I like, then I like it. If it is much later than when others found it, that's okay with me because I found it now and I enjoy it. So
Okay, I would piggyback off of you with the confidence because I used to struggle with self confidence, and when you're doing this podcast, you can't struggle with confidence. You got to be willing to go at it and willing to go for
right, yeah, definitely.
it. Yeah. So the next question is I have is, if you tend to overthink, what is the root fear that drives the spiral of second guessing and over analyzing?
Yeah, so this is actually a fun question because I am actually a very analytical person.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually overanalyze all the time. I'm very logical, very grounded um, in my thinking and feeling. So I can't really be like in La La Land with a lot of things. I want to know as much as possible so then I can weigh out my options.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I also live life based off of others' experiences. So if I have to be the first one to figure it out, then it's just like, look, I need someone else to give me a manual so I kind of know what to do, what to avoid. But yeah, I'm a very analytical person.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually do overanalyze, but it's because I want to make sure that I can weigh out my options. Um, I prefer to know as much as possible, weigh out my options,
Mm-hmm.
and I think probably for me, the root that drives that is, again, I just want to know what's going on. So if I'm in a situation and I'm not exactly sure how to navigate that situation, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to try to either lean on past experiences or try to see if there is some information that I'm able to grasp.
Mm-hmm.
Um, one thing I don't like, you know, wasting my time around things or people or in situations. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like if the door is to the left, like
Mm-hmm.
tell me that the door is to the left. I don't want to have to, go all around looking on, like, no, I don't know. Just tell me where the door is, and I'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I just really think I'm just the type of person that the more I know, the better I feel. And when I don't know, I want to try to go off of the experiences of those that came before me. So then
Mm-hmm.
I can kind of know what to expect, but
Mm-hmm.
then also try to see um, what can be done differently if there is something that should be done differently, or just avoid it altogether. If I can avoid something altogether, I'm going to avoid it.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. Second guessing is a issue for a lot of folks because you could say, well, you can miss out on your blessing if you second guess.
Right. Yeah. That happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it like second guessing like a job, or a position or um a title or something. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I also like to follow my gut a lot as
Mm-hmm.
well as discernment. So I
Mm-hmm.
know that there have been opportunities that I have second guessed on or that I had passed up. And some were all like, oh, like, well, why'd you do that? Why didn't you, follow through with that? And sometimes I feel that there was something else I need to experience, which I would have experienced or
Mm-hmm.
did end up experiencing, to where it ended up being more beneficial than what others thought. Um, and again, I do like to be a free spirit. So if something is going to kind of weigh me down, um, and pretty much make it to where I can't really maneuver and do as I please, then
Mm-hmm.
I become very unhappy. I don't and I don't like to be unhappy. So
Mm-hmm.
so
Yep.
sometimes that gut feeling comes into place and it might look like something was missed, but really it just all ends up working out in the end with something better than expected.
I agree with that. Now, how we're gonna go into the notion of failure. How would you how would your life be if you saw failure be different if you saw failure as a good thing?
Yeah, so if I saw failure as a good thing, um, well, there's that Donnie McClurkin song, "We fall down, we get back up." There's that saying, "If at first you don't succeed, get back up, try again."
Mm-hmm.
Um, so if you saw failure as a good thing, these are really good questions. Really has me
Be
thinking.
different. Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I can share an experience that I had. So Um, back in the days of like doing summer jobs, sometime when I guess it would have been in high school. So I was in like, this, maybe it was like it was a talent show. That's what it's a work talent show. So I ended up getting, maybe it was second place, third place. Either way, I placed. And I was so upset because I didn't
Mm-hmm.
get first place.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that my mom said to me, she was like, but you still receive more money than what you would have received if you didn't do it. So when I start to think about failure, I still think about, well, what was that experience? What did I gain from that experience? So so I kind of always look at it that way. So even if I didn't reach um, that ultimate goal that I thought I was going to be able to attain, there was still something received from it. It might take longer, or I
Mm-hmm.
might have had some loopholes, in between. Might have, suddenly, okay, now I got to deal with this person that, was just unexpected, that kind of
Mm-hmm.
block things. Um, but there's always like you can always get a little bit further along. I in college I did a radio class, and I was already, mass communication major, whatever. And the radio class was literally a waste of my time at the time because of all the drama that I had to deal with from my teacher, and then the student assistant that the teacher had, and no one stood up for me when I was pretty much in my right to have people backing me up. Um, and so at that point, I was just very, very down. I didn't want to do anything at all um, with media, with mass communication. But I had learned so much along the way. And some of the things that I learned back then, although when I was able to reflect on it, I realized that there were still some stains from that experience that were hindering me from some of the avenues I could have gone down.
Mm-hmm.
I realized later that there were a lot of good things that I learned that I'm still able to use today, and I was able to use when getting my master's, or that I started to, just do on the side. Um, so I guess I kind of do at times view failure as a good thing. Um, and of course, it doesn't feel like a good thing at the time,
Mm-hmm.
but I really do feel that God always has a way to bring us to a place to where some
Mm-hmm.
of the things that we experienced actually ended up getting us to a different place that God wanted us to be in. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with one with everything you said 1,000%. It's like um well, if we failed and we saw it as a good thing, then that will mess with our that could mess with our confidence that we don't really know about.
Right.
So that's what I would say to that.
Definitely.
Yeah. So the next question is: Do you do you approach? Do you want to approach life with a what if mindset or with a even if mindset?
Yeah. Um, so I know I've heard of this um, probably years before, but the what if versus the even if,
Mm-hmm.
it recently got brought back to my remembrance, I would say last year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I won't do any, promotion, say, hey, shout out to this person's page I saw it on. I'm not going to do any of that because, whatever. But but it
Mm-hmm.
really helped me in the situation to where I had to present um, pretty much my appeal in front of others. And I realized that even if is a faith mindset. And so whenever I really feel that I am in a struggle, um, instead of looking at all the bad things, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I can just, really, just be in this place where I am just so annoyed with the craziness, professionalism, whatever of other
Mm-hmm.
people, that I kind of forget that I need to be in tune with myself and how I should really approach the situation. So it's that even if it actually came back to my remembrance, and so I try my best to really approach life with that even if, because again, even if is that faith mindset. And
Mm-hmm.
I really want to be intentional. I want to be intentional with my words, with my actions, with my environments, with the things I'm a part of. I always want to be intentional. And so
Mm-hmm.
that even if mindset is really really powerful because it can definitely change one's perspective on everything that's going on.
Yeah, I agree. One of the things I struggle with is what if mindset, or
Hmm.
not the even if. Like, what if I would have done this better? What if I did this? Would that have happened differently? Or
Right.
so I struggle with the what if mindset, or not with the even if mindset, because I
Hmm.
didn't even know. I was doing some studying. I didn't even know it was an even if mindset.
Right. Yeah.
I only know it was a what if mindset.
Right.
So that's what if is what I really struggle with almost every day. Or well,
Yeah.
what if I could have did this better? Well, I got what I would gotten different results. So
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that what if, I think we're always faced with that one the most because
hmm
we always have, it's the either or syndrome, like either this or that.
yeah, that
Um,
yeah.
and so with the what if, it comes very natural to us. But with
hmm
that, even if when we start to really practice that, it really takes a time to just pause, um, and just kind of, get out of that space.
hmm
Because once we pause to get out of that space, that even if is a complete shift. It's a shift with our thinking, with our motivation. Um, Even if, things are still wonky or whatever, that even if is kind of, it becomes that silver lining in situations to help carry us through. So that's why I the more, you grow and develop and, just experience things,
yeah,
it's just like, I've been through worse, like whatever.
yeah,
So then it becomes that even if. I think that that's kind of how just life goes. It gradually becomes that even if, but we have to allow ourselves to get to that point.
yeah. I agree. I a couple months ago, I struggled with that what
Hmm.
if because I lost a family member, my grandmother,
Hmm.
and I'm like, well, what if I would have did this better, or what if
Right.
I spent more time to her with her,
Hmm.
or what if I went over our house more? Is that what if is something that I think about.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
would I would say that. Now the saying is you are responsible for creating your own opportunities in life. What is one opportunity that you need to put yourself out there and go chase?
Um, you know, Probably to never have to work a day again in my life and just
hmm
have residual income.
hmm
That's probably the main goal.
hmm
Just do whatever I want and the money just flows in.
hmm
But on the real though, so for years and years and years,
hmm
probably I don't know how long it was, but I always wanted to do a blog. Um, and so finally 2020 came along, and I'm talking about years, like a decade or so.
hmm
And so finally COVID, came along, and I finally created my blog site, toolswithme.com. But even before doing my blog site, I've always wanted to be a book author. And I feel like that I have had so many opportunities to just sit down and write a book.
hmm
Um, and I think of course, since I do overanalyze and, I'm very like, oh, like, do I want to explain this? Do I want to really have to deal with this? I
hmm
would kind of put it on the back burner, like, okay, well, when the opportunity is right, I'll do it. But I feel like I definitely have uh, missed several opportunities. So I probably could have had like 20 books written by now, various
hmm
genres. Um, but that definitely is one opportunity that I am still open to, still looking forward to. And of
hmm
course, at the right time, because once you become a book author, you're pretty much connected to that body of work. And of course, at times that body of work outlives you. So,
hmm
like I just realized that with F. Scott Fitzgerald, the author of The Great Gatsby, he didn't really see the success of that book, and
hmm
that's literally one of my favorite books. But it wasn't until later on he had passed when, people are, thinking about and, revisiting his work and having it in schools. They made the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and, just all that stuff. But definitely being a book author, yeah, it's definitely something I still want to go and chase. My first book ever that I ever wrote was in second grade, and I called it Top Model. I don't have a copy of it because, of
Mhm.
course, I should have given it to my grandparents. They would have saved it. After a
Mhm.
while, parents, they don't really save their kids' work. It's the grandparents that do. So,
Yeah.
I don't have that book um, anymore. But if I could just see that um, book now, like, just little 7-year-old me, writing my
Mhm.
first book, a part of a class project that we all did. I think I would be inspired and amazed. Um, but yeah, but being a book author is definitely something that I am still open to doing, and it's an opportunity that I still um, want to go ahead and pursue.
Amen to that. I read Great Gatsby in high school. My
Hmm.
senior, I think it was my senior. No, had to be my either junior or senior year of high
Yeah, I
school.
think I'm junior.
And
Yeah.
I read that in high school. So,
Hmm.
Great Gatsby is a book, a good book. Isn't
Yeah.
it? Isn't it a play?
Yeah. They've done different adaptations of it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, but yeah, and it was really about F. Scott Fitzgerald, which is so crazy. So it was kind of about his life. Of course, he spins it around, whatever. But yeah, but I know that they've like done plays for it. They have that movie out. Of course, the movie is nothing like the book, but yeah, but we read it in. I was in AP English at the time for junior year,
Mm-hmm.
and on my own, I would not have thought about it, read it. I would not have heard about it. I probably would have seen the movie first. Um, but yeah, just really being able to break down the book and, the foreshadowing and the motifs and all that. It's a really great book. My favorite quote is, "There's nothing more complicated than the confusion of a simple mind." And of course, whoever was calling somebody dumb. So I, kind of think about that when I have to be in spaces where, people, they don't want to listen, they don't want to do, what they should do according to the book, and they're questioning everything. And I always think of that quote. So,
Amen to that. Amen to that.
yeah.
I would say that everything it is that the whole book is a Great Gatsby is a lesson that you can learn
Yeah,
from.
definitely. It really is. It really is.
So, uh, my last question I have for you is, what is your best inequality?
Yeah, I would say really it's integrity. And
Okay.
integrity, it's so wide and so broad. So I would say that that's
Mhm.
my best inner quality. I always want to be true to myself, and I always want to make sure that I approach life with honesty, with fairness, with equity. Um, I really don't like to be in the mindset to where I look down on people, because there could be a time when I,
Yep.
am looking up at them. So,
Yep.
and of course, if I can ever help someone um, and motivate them, that's really what I like to do and don't mind doing, especially when we have the same goal
Mm-hmm.
in mind. But it's definitely integrity. I think integrity gets people a long way, rather than, being conniving, or, always having something, backhanded or something, some scheming to do. I can't get into that mindset. So I'm all about having that integrity and moving um in a way that's not only pleasing to God, but then also that is satisfying for myself as well.
I would agree. Integrity is important for anybody to have.
Yeah.
If you lack integrity, you lack it. You lack one major life quality about
Right.
So uh we have reached the end of our podcast interview. First of all, I want to thank you for joining me tonight.
Yes,
Uh
thank you so much for having me. I really, really
yeah,
enjoyed this.
yes, I am glad. I watch some in the fifth district uh programs, and I see you um doing stuff around the district. So I said,
Yes,
you know what, let
please.
me just ask her, and here we are. So I will send this interview, this link to you when it gets published. And if anyone out there want to support this podcast, scan the QR code. It's a link to my Cash App. So thank you again, Ms. Vanessa Anderson, and I will send
Thank
this link
you.
to you. And also like, comment, and subscribe to our viewers, to my viewers.